Hello, I'm Hope Logan. I am an actor on Bold and the Beautiful, and many people really love both me and our Bold and the Beautiful drama. So I've come here to share updates about my beloved Bold and the Beautiful. Everyone, please subscribe and support me. If you do, I will keep coming every day with new updates for you. During the week of May 1822, at the heart of the drama unfolding inside Forrester Creations, tensions rise as Ridge Forrester delivers a firm rejection to Brooke Logan Forrester after shutting down her bold pitch to become co-CEO. The decision sends emotional shockwaves through Brooke, who is left visibly disappointed as she realizes her ambitions have been stopped in their tracks. Meanwhile, frustration continues to build for Zende Forrester Dominguez, who feels increasingly sidelined within the family company despite his loyalty and talent. Even so, in a surprising attempt to rise above the tension, Zende tries to find common ground with RJ Forrester, hoping they can work together for the greater good of the family legacy. At the same time, Taylor Hayes learns about Brooke's failed attempt to challenge Steffy Forrester Finnegan's authority, and she quietly but firmly aligns herself with her daughter, signaling that she stands fully on Steffy's side as the conflict deepens. As the storm intensifies, Hope Logan Spencer is hit with a painful reality when Brooke finally admits that the co-CEO dream is over. That confession carries heavy consequences, as it also means Hope's fashion line will not be getting a relaunch anytime soon, leaving her professional future hanging in uncertainty. The situation grows even more volatile as Steffy considers taking drastic action, possibly shutting down Hope's entire line out of frustration and blame for Brooke's attempted takeover. Cornered and desperate for answers, Hope confronts Steffy directly, pushing for clarity while her career at Forrester hangs in the balance. Outside the boardroom chaos, Liam Spencer struggles with frustration over Hope's struggles, while Bill Spencer interprets the situation as a sign that Hope may ultimately be better off returning to the Logan side of the family. Meanwhile, Katie Spencer begins reflecting deeply on her own choices, torn between helping her niece or potentially pulling Hope away from Brooke's influence. In a surprisingly emotional moment, Katie reaches out and takes Hope's hands, hinting at a possible alliance built on mutual benefit and a shared desire for a stronger future. Elsewhere in the shadows of Forrester Creations, another layer of tension quietly unfolds as Melissa Dillon warns Remy Price to stay away before his presence becomes impossible to hide. But the situation is already spiraling, especially with head of security Charlie Weber returning to the scene, raising the risk that Remy's secret movements around Los Angeles will finally be exposed. Soon, Electra Forrester receives shocking information that may confirm Remy has been lurking around Forrester Creations, putting everyone on high alert. Dillon, caught in a dangerous position, may be forced to hide her true connection to Remy as his cousin, pretending she doesn't recognize him in order to protect herself and others. At the same time, Will Spencer opens his heart to Electra in an emotional plea, hoping to rebuild their romance and bring them back together after all the distance and confusion between them. As the story moves into the week of May 25-29, emotions reach a turning point when Will's heartfelt confession begins to soften Electra's stance, especially after she agrees to rebuild a friendship with Dillon. This shift opens the door for a possible romantic reunion, and if Electra agrees to fully reconnect with Will, it could spark a celebratory moment between them that feels long overdue. However, not everyone shares in the joy, as RJ Forrester finds himself disappointed by Electra's potential return to Will, though he still quietly refuses to give up on his own feelings for her. At the same time, Hope makes a major announcement about joining the Logan side of the family business direction, a decision that immediately stirs controversy and emotional division. Brooke, still reeling from recent rejection and resentment over losing the co-CEO position, may surprisingly support Hope's move if Steffy ultimately shuts down her line, effectively forcing their hand. This shift could even tempt Brooke herself to reconsider her loyalty and possibly make a bold move toward Logan interests, opening the door for a powerful new alliance. In a parallel emotional thread, Katie and Brooke may find themselves at a surprising turning point, potentially rebuilding trust through shared goals and new opportunities. Meanwhile, the danger surrounding Dylan and Remy escalates further as Remy becomes more aggressive in pressuring her to speak favorably about him to Deke Sharp. His persistence takes on a darker edge, hinting at a looming blackmail scenario if Dylan refuses to cooperate, leaving her trapped in an increasingly unstable situation. With tensions rising across every corner of Los Angeles, relationships are being tested, alliances are shifting, and hidden truths are inching closer to the surface. The world of Forrester Creations is once again on the brink of major upheaval, where every decision carries emotional and professional consequences. As the next 2 weeks unfold, the CBS drama promises a powerful blend of heartbreak, betrayal, romance, and unexpected turns that will leave no character untouched. As these 2 weeks continue to unfold inside the world of Forrester Creations, the emotional aftershocks of every decision begin to ripple through nearly every relationship, leaving no corner of the company untouched. What once felt like separate conflicts slowly start to intertwine, creating a larger storm where business battles and personal heartbreak feed into each other. Brooke Logan Forrester finds herself standing at a crossroads, still carrying the sting of rejection from Ridge Forrester, while also feeling an unexpected pull toward a new direction alongside her daughter, Hope Logan Spencer. That mother-daughter bond, tested by professional instability and corporate politics, begins to feel like the one steady force in a shifting landscape. At the same time, the growing tension between the Logan and Forrester sides deepens as past grievances resurface and old loyalties are questioned under pressure. Meanwhile, the emotional stakes surrounding Hope's future continue to build like a slow-burning fuse. Every conversation with Steffy Forrester Finnegan carries the weight of uncertainty, as Hope tries to protect not just her line, but her identity within the company. The fear of losing everything she has built hangs heavily over her, while those closest to her, like Liam Spencer and Bill Spencer, react from completely different emotional places, one driven by worry and the other by cold calculation. In contrast, Katie Spencer quietly positions herself as a potential turning point in Hope's future, offering a path that could reshape alliances and redefine where Hope truly belongs. That fragile sense of possibility, however, exists under constant threat, as every new corporate decision could either stabilize Hope's world or dismantle it completely. Elsewhere, the hidden tension surrounding Melissa Dillon and Remy Price continues to darken the atmosphere, especially as suspicion tightens around his presence in Los Angeles. With Charlie Weber stepping back into his role, the sense of being watched becomes impossible to ignore, and every corner of Forrester Creations feels increasingly exposed. Dylan's internal struggle grows heavier as she is forced to maintain a dangerous facade, hiding her connection to Remy while fearing what he might do next, if cornered. That pressure builds towards something far more volatile, as Remy's demands begin to shift from persuasion into something far more controlling, placing Dylan in an emotional and moral trap with no easy escape. And as romance struggles to survive in this chaos, Will Spencer and Electra Forrester stand at a delicate emotional threshold, where one decision could redefine everything between them. Hope, uncertainty, and unresolved feelings linger in the space between their words, while RJ Forrester watches from the sidelines, still carrying his own quiet disappointment and lingering hope. Across every storyline, the same truth becomes unavoidable. Every character is being pushed toward change, whether they are ready for it or not. As the week of May 25th, 29 arrives, the world of Forrester Creations stands suspended between collapse and reinvention, where alliances may solidify, relationships may fracture, and nothing will remain exactly as it was before. As the final stretch of these two dramatic weeks settles into motion inside the world of Forrester Creations, the emotional pressure reaches a point where every character begins to feel the weight of irreversible change. Decisions that once felt temporary now start locking into place, shaping futures that cannot easily be undone. Brooke Logan Forrester, still carrying the sting of rejection and corporate humiliation, begins to see that the situation is no longer just about power. It is about survival within a shifting family empire. Her connection with Hope Logan Spencer grows stronger in the face of shared uncertainty, and together they begin to imagine a future that exists outside the control of Forrester leadership. That emotional shift hints at a deeper transformation, where personal loyalty may soon outweigh corporate allegiance. At the same time, Hope's journey takes on a more decisive tone as she edges closer to a life-changing announcement regarding her professional future. Her interactions with Steffy Forrester Finnegan remain tense and emotionally charged, as neither woman is willing to fully back down from the battle over control, respect, and legacy. The possibility that Hope's line may be permanently shut down continues to loom over her like a shadow, forcing her to confront what she is willing to sacrifice to protect her identity as a designer. Support from Liam Spencer remains emotionally supportive but conflicted, while Bill Spencer continues to view the situation through a more strategic lens, believing that shifting alliances could open unexpected doors. Meanwhile, Katie Spencer quietly strengthens her bond with Hope, creating the sense that a new alliance may soon form, one built not on legacy but on opportunity and reinvention. Elsewhere, the tension surrounding Melissa Dillon and Remy Price begins to spiral into a far more dangerous direction as his persistence grows harder to contain. What once felt like emotional pressure now begins to carry a sharper edge, as Remy pushes harder for influence and control, demanding that Dillon support him in front of Deke Sharp. The situation becomes increasingly unstable, especially with Charlie Weber actively involved again, raising the likelihood that Remy's movements in Los Angeles will finally be exposed. Dillon's internal fear intensifies as she realizes she may be forced into a corner where silence is no longer safe, but truth could be even more dangerous. Every interaction with Remy now feels like a tightening loop, slowly closing in around her with no clear escape. And in the emotional center of romance and heartbreak, Will Spencer and Electra Forrester move closer to a defining moment that could either restore their love or end it for good. Will's vulnerability becomes impossible to ignore as he opens his heart once more, hoping Electra will finally choose to trust what they once shared. Electra, still recovering from emotional confusion and outside pressure, begins to reconsider what she truly wants, especially after softening her stance toward reconciliation with those around her. Watching quietly from a distance, R.J. Forrester finds himself emotionally conflicted, caught between acceptance and lingering hope that things might still change in his favor. As the week of May 25-29 reaches its peak, the possibility of reunion, collapse, betrayal, and reinvention all hang in the air at once, making the world of Forrester Creations feel more fragile and unpredictable than ever before. As the final moments of this unfolding drama settle deeper into the week of May 25-29 inside the world of Forrester Creations, the atmosphere becomes charged with a sense of inevitability, as if every character is standing at the edge of a decision that will permanently redefine their path. The tension between ambition and loyalty, love and resentment continues to tighten across every storyline, leaving no one untouched by the consequences of recent choices. Brooke Logan Forrester begins to realize that her rejection from power has not only affected her standing within the company, but has also pushed her closer to aligning fully with Hope Logan Spencer in a way that feels more personal than ever before. That growing mother-daughter unity becomes a quiet but powerful force, suggesting that what Forrester Creations has pushed away may now return in a very different form. And in that emotional shift, a new kind of resistance begins to take shape beneath the surface. At the same time, Hope stands at the center of her most defining crossroads yet, as her future inside the fashion world hangs between collapse and reinvention. Her ongoing conflict with Steffy Forrester Finnegan continues to intensify, not just as a business dispute, but as a deeply personal battle of identity, legacy, and pride. The possibility that her line could be permanently shut down pushes Hope toward a bold and controversial decision, one that could separate her from everything she once knew at Forrester Creations. Support from Katie Spencer begins to feel increasingly significant, as Katie's willingness to offer guidance hints at a future partnership that could reshape Hope's entire direction. Meanwhile, Liam Spencer remains emotionally torn, unable to fully detach from Hope's struggle, while Bill Spencer continues to see opportunity within the chaos, believing that upheaval often creates space for reinvention. Elsewhere, the shadow of danger surrounding Melissa Dillon and Remy Price grows even darker as his influence begins to shift from persuasion into something far more threatening. His pressure on Dillon to act as an ally in front of Deke Sharp creates a suffocating sense of entrapment, as every refusal brings the risk of escalation. With Charlie Weber increasing scrutiny around Forrester Creations, the walls around Remy's secrecy begin to close in tighter, making exposure feel almost unavoidable. Dillon's emotional conflict deepens as she struggles between protecting herself and preventing a larger fallout that could affect everyone around her. The tension reaches a point where silence itself becomes a burden she can no longer easily carry. And as romance stands on the edge of resolution, Will Spencer and Electra Forrester move into a moment that feels like a turning point for both of them. Will's persistence and emotional honesty begin to break through Electra's hesitation, slowly reopening the possibility of a reunion that once seemed uncertain. Electra's growing willingness to reconnect, influenced by her renewed sense of stability with those around her, creates a fragile but hopeful pathway forward. Yet, the presence of R.J. Forrester continues to add emotional complexity as his quiet disappointment lingers beneath the surface, refusing to fully fade away. As everything converges, the world of Forrester Creations stands suspended in a final wave of uncertainty, where love, power, betrayal, and redemption all collide in a single fragile moment before everything changes again.